Fort Worth police officer Megan Lewis. On a Monday night in early August, my shepherd mix partner Brigit and I were out on patrol, working the night shift. Well, at least I was working. Brigit snoozed away on the carpeted platform in the back of our specially equipped canine cruiser. A human officer would have been fired for sleeping on the job, but canines? They could get away with it. Lucky dog. She wasn't quiet about it either, snoring loud enough to wake the dead. Way to rub it in. Her snooze came to an abrupt end when a vandalism call came in over the radio. She snuffled and raised her head from the comfy cushion I'd bought her, casting me a bleary-eyed look that said she was none too happy about her sweet dreams being interrupted. "We've got a report of a broken window," the dispatcher said. "The victim reports she believes her ex-boyfriend tried to break into her home." Ugh, domestic violence is the worst. The victim's address was on College Avenue in the southern part of the Fairmount neighborhood, only a few blocks from our current location. Brigit's unique canine skills could be especially helpful in a situation like this, where the perpetrator would have left a scent trail. I grabbed the microphone from my dashboard and responded to the call. "Officers Lewis and Brigit on our way." I slid the mic back into its holder and punched the gas. Off we go! 3 turns and less than 38 seconds later, my cruiser rolled to a stop in front of the address. While the historic Fairmount neighborhood boasted some beautifully restored homes, many of which were quite large, this single-story white house was among its more modest dwellings. My eyes took in the place, while the brain behind them performed some quick computations of its own accord, estimating the home to be approximately 1,200 square feet given its width and depth. White oleander bushes flanked the front porch and spanned the width of the house. You'd have thought the owner might have planted pink oleanders to add some color, but who was I to judge? There was no garage. The house had been built long before cars were common, and the owner had apparently decided not to add one, though there was a short paved driveway in which a beige Hyundai Accent was parked. The porch light was on, as were lights inside the front room, the glow visible around the edges of the slatted wood blinds in the windows. The broken window must be around back. I climbed out of my car and opened the back door to let Brigit out. After allowing her to take a quick tinkle in the grass, I clipped her leash onto her collar and led her up the single step to the front door. While many of the other houses in the area sported cheery floral wreaths on their front doors, a large sign that read, "No soliciting," was plastered across this door. Even the welcome mat wasn't very welcoming. Instead of greeting visitors with a simple "welcome" or funny phrase, the one at our house read, "Wipe your paws," it looked more like a torture device, all stiff and bristly. I raised my hand and knocked. Rap, rap, rap. A moment later, the door was answered by a pretty, petite Latina woman. Being of both Mexican and Irish descent, my skin, like this woman's, was slightly darker than that of most Caucasians, though mine bore a scattering of freckles while hers was more uniform in color. She appeared to be in her early 30s, giving her a 6 or 7 year lead on me. She stood a couple inches shorter than my 5 feet 5 inches, putting her around 5'3". As long as we were talking in numbers, I'd put her around an 8 on the attractiveness scale. As for myself, I'd let others be the judge of that. The number I was more interested in was my IQ, which was above average, thank you very much. The woman wore a drab gray bathrobe over pajamas, no makeup, and a strained expression. Her dark hair was messy from sleep, loose curls playing about her head, much unlike the taut bun into which I'd pulled my dark locks. Her eyes flickered down to Brigit, who was sniffing at something through the wooden boards of the porch, and she took what appeared to be an involuntary step backward. Not unusual. Many people found police dogs intimidating. Rightfully so. Brigit could just as easily rip a person's throat out as lick him or her to death. "He's at it again," the woman said, gazing downward and speaking so softly I could barely hear her. I pulled out my notepad. "I understand someone attempted to break into your house?" "Not someone," she said, a little louder now, her gaze moving up to my badge. "My ex-boyfriend." She could very well be right. She could also be jumping to conclusions. I'd learned early on in my law enforcement career not to take everything at face value. "What's your name, ma'am?" "Adriana Valdez." I noted her name on my pad. "What happened exactly?" "I was in bed sleeping a few minutes ago," she said, gesturing back into the house behind her, "when a loud crash